Okay. Uh, Excellent. I think I must compliment all of you because all of you have given absolutely fantastic answers. Wrong or right, I don't know. uh, how do you do the financial analysis? How do you find out, looking at the figures of profitability, as to how a business is doing well operationally, financially, on overall basis? We look at them together. And the way we are going to look at it together, believe me, this is how everybody across the globe will use the profitability. पूरी दुनिया में, whether it's a banker or financial analyst or investment analyst or a finance controller or a banker or a merchant banker or an industrialist, this is how they would look at these numbers for arriving at certain decisions. So let's start with the company A. Now company A, as you can see here, is increasing at the rate of 30%. Good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
The sales is growing of company A is at the rate of 30%, which of course is a good sign, because how many companies you would find that would grow at the rate of 30%? So apparently it is a good sign. Now when you look at the gross profit of company A, it is increasing by 28%. Good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
Good sign or bad sign? Now remember, normally speaking, it is a good sign.
Yeah.
And why it is a good sign? Because 28% increase in the gross profit obviously is a good sign. But when you are looking at these numbers from the point of view of a valuer, when you are looking at these numbers from the point of view of decision making, when you are looking at these numbers from the point of view of business control, then it's not a good sign. And why it's not a good sign? Because if my sales is increasing by 30%, assuming everything else to be the same, least that should have happened, my gross profit should also have increased by 30%. So the fact that my gross profit has increased by 28%, there is a decrease of 2% in the growth of my gross profit. That means something has gone wrong with my
Raw material purchase or
raw
manufacturing
material
expense.
cost or my manufacturing expenses. That means something has gone wrong with my COGS.
Correct.
This becomes a trigger for decision making. And how does it become a trigger for decision making? Now the company will have to deploy somebody, give this responsibility to someone to find out, to check as to what has gone wrong with the material cost, what has gone wrong with the manufacturing expenses, right? And this is how you do the controlling. Now as a valuer, how do you look at it? As a valuer, I would look at this decrease of 2% as to whether this decrease is permanent in nature. That means the increase in my material cost, increase in my manufacturing expenses, is it permanent in nature or it is only a one-time affair? If it is one-time affair, I will ignore it. But if it is permanent in nature, then in my valuation, what will I need to do? I will need to do discounting, right? Because obviously, if my COGS is over increasing my growth in sales, that means something is wrong with the profitability of the company, and therefore I will need to give some discounting to this company. Are you with me? Now, this is how you would look at these numbers from the point of view of decision making, from the point of view of control, from the point of view of valuation. Let's go down further. The EBITDA is increasing at the rate of 25% against the increase of 28% in the gross profit. Good sign or bad sign? Everybody? Good sign or bad sign? Now normally speaking, it is a good sign, because increase of 25% in my EBITDA apparently is a good sign. But remember, we are looking at these numbers not as a common person. We are looking at these numbers as professional valuer. We are looking at these numbers as business controller. We are looking at these numbers as financial controller or investment banker or financial analyst or investment analyst or as a merchant banker. So our approach is going to be slightly different. So if I see that my EBITDA is increasing at the rate of 25% against the increase of 28% in my gross profit, it obviously is a bad sign. And why it is a bad sign? Going by the same logic as we saw it earlier, कि अगर मेरा ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट 28% से बढ़ रहा है, assuming everything else to be the same, my EBITDA should also have increased with the same rate as 28%. So the decrease of 3% in the growth of my EBITDA tells me what?
Admin cost have gone up.
It tells me that my SG&A have over increased my growth in gross profit. It becomes a trigger for decision making. And the same things that I said earlier, as a valuer, you will need to check, is it permanent in nature or it is temporary? If it is permanent in nature, then of course you will have to do the discounting. If it is permanent, if it is temporary in the nature, then you can forget it. As a company, you will need to fix a responsibility. Somebody will be asked to analyze the SG&A and find out as to what has gone wrong with the SG&A, why has it gone up. So somebody will have to do that. And this is how the stock market also will do. So stock market also will look at these numbers and find out कि भाई ये जो increase है in the SG&A, is it permanent in nature? And remember, this is what you would notice. Whenever these numbers are out in the public domain, immediately you can see the reaction on the share market. The prices would either be moving up or they would be moving down. So when you see an increase in the expenses which is permanent in nature of this kind, you would notice that the market price of the share of that company will go down. Why? Because the market has understood that in the years to come, profitability of this company is going to be eroded to this extent. And that has to be built into their calculations as far as the pricing of this company's share on the stock market is concerned. Let's look at company B. Company B is growing at the rate of 30%. Good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
Good sign. Obviously, it's a good sign. The gross profit of company B is increasing at the rate of 40%. Good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
Very good sign.
More
Very good sign. Very good sign. Why? Because if my sales is increasing at the rate of 30%, and if my gross profit is increasing at the rate of 40%, it means what? It means the growth of 40% in my gross profit, 30% is on account of increase in my sales, and the 10% is on account of
reduction in cost of
reduction in the
COGP.
in COGS, right?
COGS.
Which of course is a good
Very
sign.
good sign.
But remember, it is not that you start celebrating. It is still a trigger for decision making. And why it is a trigger for decision making? Because you will need to deploy somebody and find out as to what is the wonder the company has done in the current year, that the gross profit is increasing by 40%. So what wonders the company has done so as to reduce the material cost and the manufacturing expenses? So somebody will need to go deeper into it and find out. It is possible that the company may have deployed some new technology or some new methodology whereby the material cost has gone down and the manufacturing cost has gone down, which of course is a matter of celebration, and which is also a matter for giving higher valuation to this company. But remember, it is also possible when somebody go deep down into it, he would realize that last year's calculation of the material cost and the manufacturing expenses were erroneous. That means that is not a good sign. So those will need to be corrected, and that means your future projections will need to build that into account. So this is how you would look at these numbers. And then let's go down further and we realize that the EBITDA of this company is increasing by 25%. Good sign or bad sign?
Bad sign.
Obviously, it is a terrible sign. And why it is a terrible sign? That all the good work this company did in controlling the COGS have been simply washed away because of over increase in the SG&A. So again, a trigger point for a decision to be taken. Somebody has to be given. See, this is how world over companies control the businesses. I'm sure those of you who are from the corporate, they would know that suddenly you get a mail from the corporate office asking for details of certain expenses to be sent to them. And you start wondering as to why are they asking details only of this expense. And remember, this is the reason. So if this is what is happening, you will get a mail from the corporate office or from the controller's office. Please send me details of the SG&A of last year and the year before. And why that person is asking for these details? Because he wants to make a comparison and find out as to what are the costs under SG&A which have so much increased that the SG&A has decreased and is growing only by 25%. Are you with me, everybody?
Yes.
And you as a valuer, I don't have to explain. If it is permanent in nature, you will obviously assign a lower valuation. If it is temporary in nature, you will not worry about it because it is temporary in nature in any case. Let's look at company C. Now company C is increasing, the sales is growing at the rate of 20%. Good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
Obviously it's a good sign because it may not be as good a sign as company A and B, but remember 20% growth in sales is not a bad sign in any case. Now the gross profit is increasing at the rate of 25%. Good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
Obviously very good sign. Obviously very good sign. The EBITDA is increasing by 30%. Good sign or bad sign? Very good sign. Of course, very good sign. It's by the same logic as we discussed in case of company A and company B. Now, the EBIT is increasing at the rate of 25%. Is it a good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
Good sign. Okay, very good. Let me ask everybody. Good sign or bad sign? Good sign. Good sign or bad sign? Good sign. I'll come to you. Mohit, good sign or bad sign? It's a good sign. Good sign, Shrikant. Shrikant, good sign. Good sign. Okay, very good. Vinod, good sign. Mandar, good sign or bad sign? Not sure. Okay, very good.
Good sign.
Good sign.
I think bad.
Bad sign. Okay, very good. See, this is the objective of this exercise. So you can see some of us are feeling it is a good sign. Some of us are feeling it is a bad sign. Now, let us understand from your side as to why do you think it is a bad sign?
I think for company C.
For company C, yes, we are talking about company C.
Company C.
Yep.
The percentage wise EBIT is decreasing as compared to EBITDA.
Absolutely.
So in depreciation and amortization costs are decreasing higher.
Higher. So good sign or bad sign?
It's a bad sign.
Bad sign, okay. Good sign or bad sign? Bad sign.
Good sign.
Good sign. Okay. Shweta, good sign or bad sign?
Good sign.
And why good sign?
Because they've invested more into the assets.
They have more invested into the assets. Very good. Please join your hand and give a big round of applause to everyone. Very good. And I'm so glad. It is a good sign. It is. See, this is what is called financial statement analysis. Because if you look at the number intuitively, or intuitively, you will feel it is a bad sign. Why? Because you realize that the EBITDA is increasing at the rate of 30%. EBIT is increasing only by 25%. So intuitively, you would think that it is a bad sign. But when you go deeper into it, you realize, no, it is a good sign. And why it is a good sign? Because EBITDA is increasing by 25% against the 30% in the EBITDA. It means what? Which is the cost between the EBITDA and the EBIT? The cost between the EBITDA and the EBIT is the depreciation and amortization. तो अगर मेरा EBIT is increasing by 25%, इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये my depreciation has gone up. If my depreciation has gone up, it means what? The company has added more assets. So if the company has added more assets, that means what? The company has increased the revenue earning capacity. And assuming that the market is in a good shape, assuming that the market is in a buoyancy, so therefore the company adding more assets, increasing the revenue earning capacity, obviously becomes a good sign, right? So this is how you look at these numbers and you arrive at. So agar as a valuer, if you look at this situation, now obviously you will be inclined to give higher valuations to this company. But remember, again you have to look at this decision in the context of the economy. And why in the context of the economy? Because company increasing and investing is alright. Whether the economy or the market is in mood to absorb that additional capacity or not. तो अगर मार्केट तैयार नहीं है, जो कि मारुति के साथ में हो रहा है आज की तारीख में. See, this is the classic example of Maruti, because this is what is happening with the Maruti. Maruti built another plant in Manesar, and since they have built the capacity, market is in no mood, because Maruti would like to increase the ROE every time, when they produce every year. So market is not prepared to pay that kind of price, and that is the reason why today Maruti is getting lower valuations. But at the same time, let me also share a secret with you. I am seeing a traction in the shares of Maruti for last few days. The Maruti about last week was about 5,800, and today it has come to 6,400 something. So there is always almost 10% increase in last 1 week. So I am seeing a good traction. So I am sure something must be happening. Either somebody must be playing some game somewhere, or fundamentally something interesting must be happening with Maruti. So this is how you take your valuation decision. Very good. Right. So then you come down and you see the EBT is increasing by 40% against Shrikant.
नहीं सॉरी एक्चुअली
Okay.
ये कर रहा हूँ, मतलब ये डेट लेके उसने एसेट खरीदा है,
ये
डेट लेके एसेट खरीदा है 10 मिनट लेके.
हाँ. सो अभी हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, आगे हम जाके देखते हैं. तो अभी आगे हम देखते हैं, क्या देखते हैं कि EBT is increasing by 40% against the EBIT of 25%. That means what? That means this company has done either the two things. Number one, what this company has done, this company spoke to the lenders and told the lenders the rate of interest that you are charging to us is very high, not acceptable. Either you reduce the rate of interest, or we'll go to some other bank, because there are a lot of bankers who are queuing in front of our office asking us to transfer the account to them. If your case has merit, believe me today, your banker would be more than inclined to bring your rate of interest down. So that is what this company must have done, and that's why since the rate of interest came down, the interest cost has come down. Interest cost has come down, and that is why you can see the EBT is increasing at the rate of 40% against the increase of 25% in the EBIT. Second reason can be this company has repaid all the existing loans, or maybe part of the existing loans. That may be another reason as to why this is the positive change in the increase in the EBT. Are you with me? Now this is how you do the financial statement analysis. And finally, you look at the EAT, which is increasing by 45% against the increase of 40% in the EBT. Good sign or bad sign? And what must be the reason? As you would know, this company added more assets. So when you add more assets, you get more taxable depreciation. You get more taxable depreciation, your taxable profits go down. Your taxable profits go down, you end up paying smaller tax. And that is the reason why the EAT of this company is increasing at the rate of 45%. Now please remember, I am not saying the numbers that I have shown to you on the screen are real ones. This is all concoction. And this concoction is deliberate, because the idea here is to share with you the methodology of doing financial statement analysis. But this is how you would look at, and once you understand this methodology, it becomes very easy for you to find out कि जिस कंपनी के लिए आप काम कर रहे हो या जिस क्लाइंट को आप हेल्प कर रहे हो उस क्लाइंट की फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस एंड ऑपरेटिंग परफॉर्मेंस कैसी है. सो इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन ऑन दिस, प्लीज गो अहेड, एल्स वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक.
What's the conclusion?